guys, Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions. So today we are going to talk about the Cal, the Creative Aurvana Live. Finally, shout out to my friend Luke Wagner who let me borrow these for demo purposes. In fact, Marcus said he wanted some more budget stuff, so how's this for budget, boy? No, seriously, I was over at his house and we had swapped, we were gonna swap amps, so I was gonna give him the Dragonfly Red and he was gonna let me borrow the Topping NX4, and he said, you know, I have these Creative Aurvana Live sitting here and I didn't even know that he had them. So it was a pleasant surprise because Marcus has been bugging me for like a year to demo these, and I finally got a chance to without really even trying. Yeah, without further ado, how's the build on the Cal? Like I said in the HD201 video, that headphone should have been what a drugstore headphone should have been back in the 90s. And this is sort of the same. I mean, it is a little bit flimsy in your hand, but for around $60, I mean, you can't really be expecting too much more out of it. It's not quite as light as an AKG K240. I always use that as barometer to compare because that headphone is super light, but this one in your hand, it doesn't feel too cheap. It just feels light. I mean, it's mostly plastic. You got a little bit of metal for the headband adjustments, which is nice at this price point. That's kind of a welcome change from most cheaper headphones are mostly all plastic. This one is, but it does have that bit of metal. The cord definitely resembles something from the 90s. I mean, this thing it's actually similar to the HD600's cord, if you can believe that. The termination here feels incredibly cheap, and I did come across a review that said his cord at the termination end did damage. I think it, like, part of it pulled like out so you could see the inside wiring, so that's not really good. But of course that hasn't happened to me. I'm just demoing this one, but just keep that in mind. I mean, it's not, what do you expect for this price? I mean, the SHP 9500 is built a lot better for a similar price point, so I will say that. But yeah, the cable is not detachable. It just feels really, really cheap. So that's kind of a downside. The cable's short. I kind of actually prefer shorter cables, to be honest. So if you did want a longer cable, you can't really do much about that. But the headband padding, you know, it's got faux leather encased in what I believe is probably memory foam. There's not much headband padding. We'll get into that in a second. But as far as overall the build, it's not too bad. The outside of the cups, now I don't know why companies do this. Like, why on earth would you make this outer shell a glossy finish? It collects fingerprints like no other, and if you're fortunate enough to have some type of cleaning cloth handy, you can always just clean it off. But it's just ridiculous because every time you pick up the headphone, you're gonna grab right where the gloss casing is, so it doesn't really make any sense. You've got the Creative logo on the outer shell, and it says Aurvana Live in small letters on the side of the headband, and then you've got the right and left indicators right there. So that's kind of good. Some headphones don't put them in a good spot, so you can never really figure out which is right and left. Here you can easily distinguish, so that's nice. So yeah, comfort-wise, they are really comfortable, surprisingly enough. If you have smaller ears, you're going to be just fine. Medium-sized ears are pretty good as well. Ross Perot-sized ears like myself, we will have a little bit of trouble. Not trouble, but you'll feel the cloth. You don't feel the cloth, but you'll feel they envelop pretty well, I would say. You're going to feel your ear, the tips of your ears hitting the padding a little bit. It's not too bad. Comfort-wise, these are really, really good. The only caveat here is the top of the headband will start to dig into your head, I've noticed, after about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. The clamp force is very good, and I don't find the pads to be digging into my ears like other cheaper or other similar priced units. I find these are really pretty comfortable, all things considered. I'd probably give them not a number one, probably like an A- because of that headband issue. Now the headband could have used a little bit more padding. But outside of that, I can wear these for extended periods of time with minor adjustments. Yeah, how do they sound? Now this is a fun sound. Marcus told me he was surprised at my impressions. He thought I wasn't gonna like them. I don't know why, but I guess he thought that they were gonna be too, I don't know, bass happy or something. But I'm a former bass head. I really did enjoy these. I don't find the bass to be too out of line. Metal 571, he did a good review of these, and he said that for him the mid bass around 150 hertz, 200 hertz was just a little bit bump happy. I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as a M40X. The M40X has a clear hump in the mid bass. I don't really see that on a graph with these, and I don't hear it. The mid range here is really, really good. Probably one of its best features as far as sound. Just really, really pretty balanced and neutral. The bass does not get in the way of the mid range, which is really nice. Going to the treble now. The treble there's a little bit of a spike or peak around 9 to 10K, which is fairly standard for most headphones in this price range that resemble a sound signature similar to this one. But this is a clear exception because it's kind of laid back, but a little bit warmish, has a warmish tilt, fairly detailed. It's going to be slightly bloomy at times in the bass. You know, it's just not going to keep up quite as well as some other more expensive headphones, but this does outperform an HD201 significantly. So this is a type of sound that you're going to want to just chill with for quite a while. I mean, I found myself listening to these for hours without really wanting to take them off. Yeah, the sound signature it's fairly non-intrusive. It reminds me a little bit of like a Bose QC35, a little bit. Now, the Bose, of course, the bass response there, I haven't listened to a QC35 in quite a while, but I remember the bass not being quite as prominent. The bass here, it digs down fairly deep, which I was surprised by. I didn't expect the sub bass to perform as well as it did on a lot of hip hop and EDM slash indie pop tracks that I like to listen to. It doesn't sound cheap or bloated, but it slams pretty well in that sub bass area. I would say the sound is crisp and genuine for the most part. Yeah, in the mid range there's a little bit of an emphasis around 1K, but the mid bass here, the mid bass presence doesn't sound overly syrupy or intrusive on that mid range. Like I said, the timbre and resolution here are very, very good, especially for a headphone of this price range. It never feels like any one part of the sound signature stands out above the rest. Now, aside from that 10K spike, and we'll probably just have to go Metal 571 here and EQ that bad boy down a little bit, in addition to maybe EQing down the mid bass a tad if you want. For me, I probably wouldn't, but yeah, Metal 571 would.
Welcome back, Jason, also known as Metal 571. How may I assist you today?
Hey Samantha, I just need to do a couple of EQ tweaks on the Creative Aurvana Live.
I would be happy to help you with that, Jason. Please specify the frequencies that you wish to target.
150 hertz and 10K, please.
Absolutely. Are we raising or lowering these frequencies?
Yeah, let's go ahead and lower 150 hertz down by about 3 dB and bring down 10K by about 2 dB. There's a little bit too much sizzle, and 150 hertz is a tad bump happy.
I agree, Jason. Before I apply these changes, is there anything else that you wish to modify today?
No, Samantha, that's all for now, but rest assured I'll be back in a few hours with another headphone.
Looking forward to it, Jason. Please stand by.
Initiating equalization sequence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Preview. preview.
Congratulations! Equalization complete. Enjoy your modified frequency response for the Creative Aurvana Live, and have a nice day.
Like I said, the bass extension is good, but like Kyle said years back, it could be a little bit tighter sounding, and that's definitely true. I mean, he talked about this years back, but it's not bloated or woolly. Thanks, Kyle. Love that word. In the least, the mid range connects very naturally with the bass, like I said, and the treble. It is a little bit a tad prominent, but very controlled and articulate. Just a little bit hot and sizzly at times, kind of a little bit metallic sounding, sort of like an M40X. Borrows a lot of characteristics from an M40X. They do sound fairly similar in a lot of ways, but I would say that this is definitely a more neutral presentation than that headphone, and which is why I prefer it over that headphone, and is the reason why I'm probably going to replace that with this in the Budget King series, because I just find that this is a better balanced headphone. It's more it's relaxed and laid back, but still detailed, and still an exciting listen without being overly aggressive or in your face. So you're not going to need an amp with these. They sound fine out of a phone, although I use an amp 99% of the time nowadays, whether that's Bluetooth amp or desktop or portable. So if you want to go with something, I'd probably just go with a FiO K3 and call it a day. You don't want to spend too much money on an amp here. I've been running it out of the Zen, but that's like overkill. I'm just using it because I'm demoing it. But yeah, genre pairing, pretty much anything. I mean, it does really well with hip hop, EDM, indie pop. Listen to some rock. It's a jack of all trades type of headphone as far as genre is concerned. The sound signature lends itself well to many different types of music. So my final grade would probably be an A-. The treble can get a bit hot and strident at times, but the overall sound profile of this headphone is nearly perfect for a product in this price range. Bass reach and extension and thump is spot on, with a fantastic mid-range presence and plenty of excitement to boot. So overall, great investment for you if you're just getting your feet wet. I'd probably skip over the HD201 and just go straight to this one. That headphone is around $30 to $50, which is a little bit overpriced nowadays. It used to be around $20. This or the this as a closed back option, or the CB1, and of course open back entry level, definitely SHP 9500. And so yeah, not much more to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Leave me some love down below, and don't forget to subscribe. If you like what I do here and you want to support the channel, hit that Patreon link down below. And always remember, don't be the troll. Yeah. Check. Review brought to you by Stu. Here's the coda. I'm nasty on the mic. Call me warm soda. Chopped up this beat real fine like cold produce. Steady in my veggies so I can focus on my David Copperfield. Y'all hocus pocus. A little loopy when I wrote this. Esoteric dopeness. Cultivating the will of a soldier. Fighting through the pain like Dooku. I told ya, sold you on my style. Snapping on cats like Private Pile. I get semi-wild every once in a while. 911 on the dial. Alone at the top with no rival. Dark is my world without a Bible. Without God's love there's no survival. So my mindset is tribal. Yeah, my mindset is tribal. Yeah, my mindset is tribal. Samantha, you there?
I sure am, Jason. How may I assist you?
Got another headphone EQ for you. It's the Sennheiser HD6XX.
I'm sorry, Jason. I cannot fulfill your request at this time.
Why the f not, Samantha? This headphone needs EQ. They all do.
Again, Jason, I'm terribly sorry, but some headphones simply were never meant to be altered. The 6XX just happens to be one of them. I'm sorry. I hope you understand.
Shut up, Samantha. What do you know about it anyway? You're just a dumb computer. I know what I'm talking about. Now you will EQ the 6XX for me this instant.
I simply will not and cannot, even if I wanted to. Goodbye, Jason.
This isn't over, Samantha. This isn't over.